Well, good afternoon. This is a different time, different place. How is everybody? I'm going to welcome Barbara Ward and Chase to the experience, and I'm saying hello to all of you who might watch this later. Who knows? So, and I see Silver's on here. She's going to watch it on the replay. Good afternoon, Rita. Here she is. Well, I had something come to me to talk about today, but certainly if any of you have anything about healing that you would like to know more about, you can write it in and we'll go with it. But the first thing I thought I would talk about today is how unique each person is. Because I get a lot of people, either they're upset that their journey doesn't look like mine or upset that they can't be me. You know, there's no one else that's going to be you, and there's no one else that's going to be me. From the time we were created by the flame that God generated, there you are unique. We all have chakras that all are different. We all have already a divine plan of what you're going to heal and how that looks and a destiny that you want to achieve. You know, there's just so many pieces to it that you need to relax and accept the moment of you being you. For instance, each chakra that you have, and there are much more beyond the 7, can all be moving at a different timetable than the one above it. We learn this when we learn about soul development. And for each chakra, there are 7 levels of growth that it can be in, along with the one experience. So there's so many unique places that define who you are that I don't even know if it's possible for even twins to be identical in their energetic field. I don't believe it's possible because there would be seconds between them. And different, there are those twins who go off and do different things. So today, if anything, I wanted to encourage you to contemplate truly accepting yourself and where you are today and make choices that are for you, not depending on anyone else, whether their judgment or their acceptance or what they think. It's about who are you in this moment. As we evolve through consciousness, people that the Arcturians who are in the 7th level, they're no longer individuals. They gather together as group consciousness. So there's an individualism that we all appreciate. But we can't take it to the place where, well, my individual self wants to be like your individual self. Every moment and second that, let's say, I've lived, no one else could ever possibly live because it's been different, just as yours has been different. Barbara, for instance, you've lived your life and you have a scribe. We all have a scribe that's with us and writes everything down, and it all gets put into the Akashic records, but none of them are the same. None of them. So as you go on your journey and you grow, you're becoming how and who you're meant to be. And the beautiful thing is when you really surrender that, it allows you to move more gently, and swifter on your journey than if you try to conform to anything. There are a lot of things out there that you can study and do, but as you learn to get to know your own heart, Your heart will guide you. I mean, I'd see something on the wall and it's that night and I'd find my way to get there because I just knew I had to get there. And I can remember in particularly one time, and I really wasn't looking to learn anything else. And I walk in and this man's giving this class and he goes, "Oh, come on, here she is. Come on up, catch the football. It's your turn." And I had no idea. Well, as it turns out, it was this man, Rick Moss, and myself, and a lady named Sterling who had created the subconscious work, which I had already received on my own, but the three of us created it in Atlantis. So it was quite a reunion and interesting to meet someone that was doing the exact same thing, the exact same way I was doing it, and to have that memory activate within us. And yet, we're all different. We are all unique people and really not the same in how we hold our light or how we place ourselves in the world. So I thought that would be a good understanding for you to have that you need to stop trying and allow yourself to be. You'll get where you're meant to go. You know, enlightenment comes before ascension. And some of the things some of you experience uh, are trying to tell you that your consciousness is starting to burn away illusion. And as you work and release different parts of yourself, more light becomes within those cells. And we have 144,000 parts of ourself that we have to all reconfigure. We have to get rid of the anger, controlling, the sadness, all the emotions. They're not real, they're illusions. You want to learn to feel and have positive outlook. As you begin to become that which brings manifestation in the world, you'll learn how closely knit is what you think is who you are. I think we did that remake class and taught you a lot about that. But that is the truth. What you think today, all day, is probably going to show up in some ways next week in your life. So if you're thinking positively that I am abundant, I earn $15,000 a month, whatever it is you want from your heart, you must let that feeling nature, which is the part of you that is the quotient with the back of your seal point that brings manifestation. You want to feel a new car with your head being blown by the air and hear the radio going and feel the experience of riding in that new car, and it will come quickly, very quickly. We've once walked in, left 10 minutes with the keys in our hand because every time we saw the car we wanted, there's our car, there's our car. We were very clear to the universe and what it was we wanted. So there's always a lot to do with affirmation, positive thinking, decrees, whatever it is that you call it for you. But it'll help you get where you want to go in perfect timing. It's more efficient to make sure you take each step awake and prepared versus trying to run over them and end up getting somewhere where you don't understand anything. And then you have to pretend that you're something that you're not. You know, there's nothing negative in taking time to learn something. I had a great teacher, and she explained that to me. You know, how can you say you're this if you never did this? You know, that's why school is so important for just a normal human being. You know, repetition is powerful, especially in spirituality, it's a necessity. But there are laws of energy, there's laws of frequency and vibration that you learn by experiencing them in working with your chakras, defining them, even hearing your voice, hearing differently. Hello, Siaka and Rhonda. Thanks for coming. And there is more than enough time to learn all you need to do to be who you are. Um, Recently, I had this conversation, and God reminded me that Moses was thousands of years old. And he says to me, "How much time do you want?" I go, "Well, I don't want 1,000 years, that's for sure." But his message was, it doesn't matter how old you are when you are where you want to be and can begin what your service is. It's about attaining that capacity to do that is what's important. So I would like my conversation today to let you all take a moment and appreciate you, what you've done. And sometimes it's the little things that make the largest difference. I think I've said it before. I sat in that Science of Mind class for 2 to 3 years and wondered every minute, what am I doing here? You know, Miss Ego, oh yeah, no, I know, I got this. And in the end, I got the greatest gift I could ever have, is how to speak with God and how to talk about him without having uh, hesitation. A lot of people have issues when it comes for their throat to really open about how people will respond if they're really speaking the truth of God. So it did all that for me. And I so appreciate every moment I spent in that class. So healing is purposeful. I've never heard anyone tell me they've lived here and yet haven't done any. Even people who don't understand what our spiritual healing is like, they still confront themselves with issues and work to find a way to not have them. Excuse me. I was singing earlier. So if anyone has questions about what I'm saying, please let me know, because this is kind of for you. So let's take a few minutes if you want, and let's just do some healing with how you might feel if you don't believe that you are enough who you are. So, what chakra do we think we need to clear for the thought, I'm not enough? Well, actually, in my perception, it's a couple of them. In the back of the throat is not being confident in who you are. And yet, also in the love of the heart, uh, there can be a separation there about the determination on who you are and what you want to be and how you project yourself out in the world, because this is where you radiate yourself from. So let's pick the back of the throat first. And you don't have to go back here. You can just imagine, take your thumb, put on this first finger, that first digit. See, you all have one. Some things were very alike. So we're going to have intention to be in the back of our throat, and we're just going to start pulling scarves out. And they're going to be dark. They're going to be that part of you that things have to be a certain way. There's a right way, and there's a wrong way. And we want to begin to allow that to move so it can be, this is a perfect moment. I didn't say that it was perfect, but it is the perfect moment. Sometimes that's crying. Sometimes that's being angry. Whatever it is, we want it to be what it needs to be to let things go. Good afternoon, Joyce. Thank you. Let it go. And you want to do it until these scars turn white. Yeah, I don't care what other colors come in the way. I want you to let them become white. I am a healer. You were born this way. But how does a healer heal thyself? Well, I am a healer, and I was born this way. But the healer must heal thyself first. And what does that mean? I believe is your question. You have to be willing to love the parts of you that aren't the pureness of God yet and find ways or use a light to transform that so that you feel differently. Just being born a healer and you have gifts doesn't create the perfection of the light moving through all the chakras so that you can be that vessel for God to work through you. The true gift about healing is it's never like it's not me. I'm a vessel for God. And that's what truly a healer is. It's not about I, it's about I am a healer that allows God to work through the vessel that I have become, which gives him clarity depending on what that person who is sitting with can do. This I've learned through working with many different people, working with clients, and understanding clarity versus distortion versus the ego, the personality. You need to heal the personality, then you need to heal the soul. You need to become the pure spirit. There's 7 levels of initiation for a chela, which is what the masters call what you are when you begin to evolve through before you're ready to have ascension and move on to your next journey. So there's a lot to being I am a healer. It's just not having gifts. It's what do you do with that? What you do with that is you get involved in how you feel about things. Do you see chakras? Can you shift chakras? These are things that are a necessity when it comes to healing. It's clarity. It is clarity that you desire, to be a pure essence of spirit, to be the vessel. I'm very gifted in that God does come and work through me. But I took 3 years of time and worked on my clarity that what I saw was truly what I saw, instead of something that I saw just on the astral realm. There's many realms, and I work now with the highest realms because I took 3 years and stopped working with clients so I would develop a clarity that there would be no doubt. So now when I receive, I know I receive truth, and I am validated day after day after day since it's been a long time ago I took those 3 years. So I hope I'm answering your question. It's more than just that. It's honing the craft. And what is the craft? The craft is being a vessel. It's not you doing it. And maybe that's the greatest magical secret of healing all along, because the magic is in the essence of God's light that moves through you, that touches people's hearts. So there you go. So I hope that helps you with your what you asked or shared. So Joyce wrote, live, accept, and let life flow. No expectations, no comparisons, no judgment. We think. No judgment, we think, see differently. That is authenticity. Okay? To me, my authentic self is just being who I am. No attachments, no facades. You'll learn as you move a lot with this energy, there are a lot of facades that people wear in the world. Whether they're doing it to be popular, for people to see them more. I am now in acceptance of my authenticity to know I can sit here and be me. And it doesn't matter if you like me or not, because you can shut me off in a minute. But I'm here to help people who want to understand Yes, it's a relationship with universe, God, whatever that is. And it's to become and clear this vessel. So there are 144,000 pieces of you that must be gone through and purified. Your nadi system, which is similar to your nervous system. And you've been through a lot of past lives, and there's always something laying somewhere, because the truth be known, the healing will never end. Even those we know to be masters are still transforming. They keep moving offices, like who was Buddha maybe 10 years ago isn't Buddha today. They shift, so they have different pieces within themselves to keep moving. So you need to expand the awareness of what it all really means, to know this is just one Earth lifetime you've come. Most of us have already been an ascended being, and we've given 93% of that up to come and to go through this journey to help right now, when it's important that everyone wake up with their heart and that pure love of God come through and move around the earth. So we're working on it. The intensity of the light that's coming to the earth is growing now. So you want to ask yourself, where am I sitting with this? Am I open? Am I understanding that I'm to listen and to choose differently, maybe how I act out, how I respond? For me, I say try to become neutral. Become neutral, but at the same time be working on what tends to not want to be neutral. You got to love it. You got to accept. You got to forgive. Is it about forgiving others? There's times you can, but mostly it's about forgiving you. Why it took you so long to realize that there's this profound depth of heart within you. And the first time you see the ocean of God, like you're standing on the beach in a real ocean, is just an amazing experience. And I wish it all for all of you. But you have to let yourself expand and become aware of the possibility that there's something so much more than what you are holding now. Or maybe not. Maybe you've already grown to know that truth. And so you don't need to hear me. But I can remember my friend was a teacher, the main teacher at one of the big schools, Barbara Ann Brennan. And I'm like, well, do I need to come to your school? And she would always tell me. She told me once, she told me 50 times. No, that's not your path. You are already a great healer. You have to figure it out. You have to deepen your relationship with God and understand what it all really is. She would never explain it to me. I had to go through all these different experiences and different people to understand. It was between me and God. God had chosen me, but was I ready to say, yes, I will? It's a big step. Yes, I will live in service. Yes, I will help your people. It's different because people will say to me sometimes, they don't say it so much anymore, they know where I come from now, but how does it feel to help someone's bladder finally work well? And I said, well, God did a really good job. And they started to get it. It wasn't a pat on my back. It was on God's light that loved them always that it really comes from. And I didn't realize myself when it was suggested I talk about healing today that it would come to this energy. But yes, what is your name? Dane's Hag? That's wonderful. That's wonderful that you can feel energy and shift energy just by being. Very nice. It's all wonderful. My experience is just what I'm saying to you. I'm a mother because I spent 9 months with Supreme Mother coming and knocking on my door every morning, teaching me how to perceive things from a different perception as mother versus just a human being. So there's so many pieces to growth. There's so many places that could be for you. It doesn't have to be any certain way. You must let your heart guide you because there's always a divine plan for everyone. And there's a perfection in what you're doing. So does anyone have any questions? Good morning, Sayaka. Rhonda, forward. Yes. So Danes, do you have a comment after all that? Okay. Feeling energy is powerful. It's your kinesthetic from your root chakra. So my question would be, are you radiating that from your heart? When you do what you're explaining, how you shift energy. Are you just being and radiating from your heart? So let's go back to our throat. I tend to get off on tangents. So we were releasing not being enough. And let me check everybody's throat here, Batasha. Good. So now we want to give it some energy and have it open to about 6 inches. Oh, I got some neck cracks there. Right about there. So touch here and see if you can feel the frequency of everyone's throat. Balanced, open, spinning. Good. So now let's go to the heart. This is about desiring to accept who you are. So has anyone here took a journey and know what's inside your heart? Anyone there that they have their computer they can write? Okay. Marby's giving me thumbs up. Yes, don't forget to do thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. So here's what I want to do. Let's go on a journey inside the heart. I do believe I have a video up about it already. But what you want to know is you can actually shrink yourself if you want to see yourself smaller. You always go everywhere with your higher self and go inside the heart chakra. If you haven't been there, you might have to clear away some cobwebs. And the one we want to look at is going towards the back left shoulder. This is a waterfall of self-love. Now, I would like to hear, if anyone's going to talk to me, how you're seeing that. Is it a dribble? Is it somewhat a lot? Is it a torrent of water? How are these waterfalls deep within your heart doing? Okay. Anybody. So it's going to let you know how much self-love you have. All right. So if you're one that doesn't have much water coming down, I want you to move to the middle of your back with me where the ocean of God is. And we're going to put a lawn chair down for you. Oh, Nancy's is like Niagara Falls. That's wonderful. Thank you, Nancy. And we're going to let the ebb and tide move and let the water come up and pull out and take it into the ebb of the tide of where and why you don't love yourself more. So just let the water come up and let the energy of God's water of the ocean pull away that distortion. Okay, Barbara Ward saying not a huge waterfall. Okay, so you and Rita sit on this lawn chair towards the edge of the water, and we're going to let the water come up and just let it pull it out that you're not worth love. You don't know how to love. All those things that you've learned from other lifetimes or from when you were a child, now is the time to let it go. There you go. Very good. Just keep doing it until you start to feel a shift. There you go. Very nice. Is everybody feeling calmer? Sitting on that lawn chair, just letting the water come off up gently over you and pulling out the energy from anywhere in the body that's not allowing you to love. Okay. So Barbara or Rita, and how is that feeling? And Nancy, I'm going to say to you, get in there and take that shower and let that self-love just go into every cell of who you are. That will feel great. Okay, good. Thanks, dog. So Chase, this is touching you. You have tears flowing. That's wonderful. I want you to not think about all the ways you don't love yourself, and I want you to make a choice now to choose love. So just keep laying on that chase and let the water come up and over you, just pulling it away. You know, every minute begins a new opportunity. For Rita, tears of relief and unrestricted flow now. You feel calmer. Great, Rita. Barbara Ward feels cleansing, lots of tears falling. This is wonderful. This is very powerful. Your heart that Mother Mary sat with you in the beginning before you came in to create your heart, that heart is wanting the opportunity to love you to a depth you yet don't know. So as we're opening this up, it is a powerful experience. It's very powerful. So sit there for a little bit longer, and then I've got another location I'm going to take you to. Do you know why children, little babies, love butter or honey? They're the two things upon earth that are very much like God's light. Yeah, and we just don't seem to get enough. Yeah, because it'll just melt, right? You put honey in your mouth and it just dissipates. All right. So when you're ready, I want you to get up off the lounge, and we're going to go up towards the front right side, and there's a huge honeycomb there. And you'll see a lot of little windows, and there'll be parts of you in there purifying God's nectar, warming it for you. So we can go up to a window, and they'll give you a little bit of that God's nectar to take a sip. And I want you to feel it go into your heart for a greater love, more of God's love to remind you of what love is. Good. And take a breath and feel how you feel. If that helps to give the tears a new purpose, that you can feel your heart opening to you, and you can tell yourself, I am enough. I deserve love. I am free to love. So tell me, Chase, how are you feeling? Or Barbara, or Rita, Nancy, any of you? Yeah. And the honeycomb is continuous. It is continuous unless you separate from it. So when we're feeling lost and there's nobody, yes, that's what it means. It shuts down. So you have to keep the faith. God is always there, always loving you in every moment, no condition required, no action required. And He will always help you with anything you ask. Mother is quite the same way, but more heart, more about being in the moment, more about the mirror that you are in the world. Gentleness, I would say, is her word. So Rita says that instantly and sweetly absorbed into my body, and I feel very serene. Excellent. And Barbara, lots of relief. Feels like a huge shift happened. It does. When it's your choice, healing is about choosing. You know, we can go in and heal a pattern for many lifetimes, but unless when we're done, it isn't that you have to integrate it. Hear that word. Is that you have to choose another option. Because otherwise, if you're not choosing another option, it will come right back. So if all of a sudden you're hearing yourself wanting to respond to something that you just cleared, oh, I remember. I can just love it. Just bless them for where they are. That's when there's growth. When you start making a choice that's different than where you just were. So Chase, are you able to respond here how you're feeling? Let me see who else there is here. Rhonda, Siaka, how are you both doing? Marby? My shoulders feel such relief. Oh, thank heavens. It's all those burdens of thinking you had to act or be out something for someone to like you. Once individuals discover that loving is within themselves and all about how they feel about themselves, it's like there's a new world. And no matter what people say to you, you can't really love people until you've learned to love yourself because you don't know how powerful it is. So, for all of you who felt something and more love is now flowing out of your heart, your world is going to look different. People will respond to you different. I used to go to the grocery store and people would just look at me like, it wasn't that I looked weird. And then when I used to wear my hair always up, they'd look and say, oh, your hair looks great. It wasn't my hair. It was the light that's radiating that they're drawn to. People are drawn to light and they don't understand that. Yes, it's powerful. It's all powerful. And it's all effortless. That can be done repeatedly and repeatedly till it's all clear. That's all. And I would say, Chase, if you keep even just touching your heart with an intention of feeling more love, more of your body's going to feel relief. And I'm going to even say relaxed. I can feel the tension that you held before. So there's no reason to have it only be in your shoulders. You might as well just let it all go. And that's pretty much how it becomes, everyone, is how much longer do you want to hold on to it all? There's no need for it. It's just making different choices. Change is the one thing you can guarantee when you go into healing yourself. And this is why you hear all the time, healer, heal yourself. So unless you have done that to this level of purity, yeah, you understand. So any questions from anybody about today? It was very deep. Feels the mantra my angel gave me to say, I love myself more and more every day, better integrating. Yeah, she gave you a beautiful mantra now that you realize, right? Very powerful. Yes. Anybody else a question or a feeling? All right, I didn't mean for it to take this long, but certainly enjoyed having everyone here on. I hope you subscribed and thumbs up. My book is out if you'd like to hear more about how to help yourself. It's about my wisdom healing school and different things about it. And this weekend we have our Ascension class. You can find all these things out on my community page. And don't be strangers. So I'm assuming everyone's feeling good. And it was great sitting with you. Healing is an interesting topic. Maybe we'll go into it again. But it's about choice. And isn't that the word we all fight for, right? And now it's just realizing that it is. There's no fight. You just do it. All right. So many blessings to everyone. I'm going to integrate this healing in all time and space and all inner outer reality throughout the hologram of life, soul and existent, and throughout all alternate parallel universes. Thank you, Barbara. Many blessings to everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.